Welcome back to 10-Minute Marriage Tips to keep you hitched. And here with the love guru, Phil Yates,
Mate.
who's been married for many multiples of times longer than I have. So I thought I'd get Phil here to give me some marriage tips. And today we have a free offer for you at the end of the show, just 9 minutes and 30 seconds away.
Yep.
Today's topic is forgiveness. Let's hear it.
Yeah, forgiveness. Look, there's one line with forgiveness that, look, I see to be true. I've dealt with a fair bit of forgiveness in my life and had to forgive a lot of people in my history. And what I've noticed, and yeah, everything that I say, everything's, my opinion and how I've experienced it, and you take with what you want. Hopefully you get some good stuff from it. But this is the thing. You'll notice what you have not forgiven in your partner. So if you haven't forgiven your past or people in your past or things in your past, you'll start to notice that in your partner because it will be magnified. If they do something or say something or raise their voice or whatever it may be, you'll times that by 20 because it will be the thing that you saw in the person that hurt you. The person.
So when I was younger, there wasn't enough orange juice to go around. We're limited to one glass in the morning.
Yeah.
And it was a big issue whose glass was fuller of orange juice. And then my wife just so happens to like the juice.
Yep.
And that hurts me a bit. Is this a good example of this situation? Or at least a lighthearted version of it?
Yeah, it could be.
It could be, okay.
So there's some forgiveness that you need to...
I need to forgive the orange juice thief from way back then.
Oh, mate, I've got stories about orange juice, but I won't tell them.
Okay.
But it's all the way people talk to you, the way people have hurt you in the past. If that's not forgiven, the hardest verse that I've had to deal with in my life comes from Matthew 6:14 and 15. Let me read it to you. For if you forgive their trespasses, the heavenly Father will forgive you. But if you do not forgive others their trespasses, neither will the Father forgive your trespasses. The hardest verse I've ever experienced in my life. Why? Because what this verse is saying is, if I don't forgive the person that has hurt me, that's not my fault. I was a child and I need to forgive the person that actually whatever did things to me or affected my life in a negative way. Now I have to forgive them when it was their responsibility to do the right thing. What it does is release me from it. Forgiveness is a powerful thing because we're all sinners. We're all sinners saved by grace, and we all need to go through that point. And you remember your conversion, your conversion experience with God. You'll see that you came face to face with Jesus and you understood that you're sinful. I think it's Herb Larson does a really good illustration about how he's in a big shed, and in that shed there's a vanity mirror on the other side of the shed. And he walks closer, and as he walking closer to this vanity mirror, he's looking good. He's looking good in this mirror. You know what a vanity mirror with the lights around the outside of a mirror. And he's walking closer and closer. It's not until he goes right up to this vanity mirror that he understands or sees the imperfections in his face and imperfections in his life. That's how it is with Christ. So as the closer we walk to Christ, the worse we're looking. And the worse we notice, or the more we notice the bad things in our lives. We're face to face with Jesus at our conversion. We go, yeah, I'm not up to scratch. I've got a lot of things in my life I need to correct, and I need to ask for forgiveness for, in order to be more like your character. And that's sanctification, right? We want to become more like the character of Christ. So he takes us through that. But also in that process, we need to forgive others. Or what God's saying in this verse is he won't forgive us of our transgressions. That's major. That is just hard to deal with, because is it really our responsibility to forgive others? when they hurt us.
Well, I guess if we don't, we're the ones carrying the pain, not them,
They're not carrying them. They've moved on.
most likely.
So how do you do this? Well, there's different things that have been suggested to me. One thing that will work for me is I had an empty chair in front of me, and I talked to the empty chair in front of me like it was the person that affected me, like the person I needed to forgive. And I said, you hurt me by this, this, and this, and this is what you did. And you did all these things to me, and I want you to know that I forgive you. I forgive you for everything that you've done. And I want to move on from this. And it can be partly prayer. It can be, God, help me to move on from this. Help me to forgive. And whether it's sending a text, whether it's calling the person, whatever it may be, you deal with it how you feel convicted to deal with it. But forgiving people in the past is so important because you'll see that in your partner. That will start to rear its ugly head. And it might still be sensitive in your partner. You might still see it. But you'll know then where it's coming from. And you'll know that, hang on, in my past, this has made me extremely sensitive to this issue. It might be the raising of a voice. It might be calling of names, which you should never do in a marriage. But, that happens. And it might be whatever it may be. In my marriage, I've noticed that what I haven't forgiven, I notice in my partner.
This reminds me of the quote that I often remember in a situation where I see something bad going down.
Yep.
Hurting people hurt people.
Yep.
Very simple. I'm sure you've heard it before.
Very true.
This comes up here. If you're still hurting, if you still haven't been able to forgive a trespass against you, that's going to make you more likely to react and to hurt somebody else.
Really good.
Which is a reflection of the hurt that's still in you.
Yep. Kyle, you are the love
I should
guru.
give you tips.
That's brilliant. No. Hurting people hurt people. Great. So let's all forgive. Let's go through this process of forgiving. And this is, we're talking about first 3 episodes, we're talking about kind of pre-marriage. We're talking about what we need to do before we're married. This is brilliant. And if we're doing it, if we're involved with a marriage, we're 10 years in, 20 years in, whatever it may be, it's never going to be lost, you going through this process.
Never too late to start.
That's right. Never too late to start forgiving.
When did you start forgiving?
Yeah.
Phil, before marriage or after marriage?
We were married.
You were married when you had to go through that.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of forgiveness happened before marriage, but it's a constant process.
Constant process. Awesome. Thank you for the tip. This actually reminds me of the resource by Dick Tibbets called Forgive to Live.
Okay.
Which might actually be a more appropriate giveaway for this episode than
Okay.
the other one that we had planned for you. So, Forgive to Live, How Forgiveness Can Save Your Life. Every one of us has a grievance, story, a hurtful event perpetuated by someone who mattered in our lives. And for most of us, that hurt simply will not go away. If that is you, this is the book for you. And
Forgive to Live. And the code word, let's keep the code word love.
No, let's make it forgive.
Okay, let's do it forgive.
We
Fair
use
enough.
that other offer still. But forgive will be the code word for this one.
Okay.
Forgive. Very easy to spell, unlike forgiveness, which was otherwise suggested. We've gone with forgive. So text that word to 0482 082876 and we will get out to you a book called Forgive to Live, How Forgiveness Can Save Your Life. Such an important step in any marriage is to learn how to forgive. Any summaries?
No,
Anything
great.
extra,
Yeah, look,
Phil?
I love what you said, mate. Hurting people hurt people. And you know what? Forgiveness is so important that we go through that process, not just for marriage, but for your life. A lot more joy, a lot more peace will come into it.
So this is 10-minute marriage tips to keep you hitched. And we're going through about 10 episodes of this, and they'll be on YouTube and on the radio. So you can find us at Faith FM Australia if you want to watch back anything that you've seen or you want to share these tips with a friend. Thank you for your time. We'll see you in the next episode.